Hey, what's up YouTube? In this video, I'll be showing you how to make a Bart Simpson statue. He's going to end up looking a little something like this, doing a nice little 360 for us, looking creepy as ever. I should also point out that I've also done a statue tutorial for Marge and a statue tutorial for Homer. Both of those links for those videos will be on the screen if you've not made those and you want to, and they will also be down in the description. However, if you want to make Bart, here's what you're going to need. You will need some black wool and some white wool. You'll also need some yellow, some dark blue, some cyan, and finally grab yourself some orange wool. And once you have each one of those materials right there, and once you've figured out where you want to make him, I'm going to be making him right here, you're going to want to kick off Bart with a row of 8 white wool in a row on the floor. That's 8. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Just like that. And once you have that base row of 8 white wool, this is what you want to do for rows number 2, 3, and 4. Do 2 dark blue in the 2 center spots of the next row, and then place cyan wool everywhere else. And as I said, you want to do that for 3 rows. So that's the first, this is the second, this is the third, and now I'm just going to fill in the cyan wool. So once you've got those next 3 rows taken care of, the 2 dark blue and cyan everywhere else, for the next row you just want to do an entire row of white wool. You then want to do 3 rows of yellow, so that's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. Once you've done those 3 rows of yellow, for the next row place 2 dark blue in the 2 center spots of the row, and then place cyan everywhere else. For the next row, place 4 dark blue in the 4 center spots of the row, and then place cyan everywhere else. For the next 3 rows, place 3 solid rows of cyan wool. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3. For the next 10 rows, do 10 solid rows of orange wool. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And of course, now we just have to fill them in, which is a bit of a lengthy process, but you know what, I'd rather count them out first anyway. I want to make sure that I've got the right amount of rows. Too many times have I added a couple of rows or taken a few away, and it's made the statue look a little weird at the end, so rather count them out first. Once you've got those 10 rows of orange wool, for the final row of the torso of Bart, do 4 yellow wool in the 4 center spots of your row, and then just do orange wool everywhere else. So what you want to end up with is something that should look exactly like this, and this is what you want to have for the front of your statue. Once you've got that taken care of, we're actually now going to move on to the back of the statue. I would usually make the arms at this point right here, however, Bart has slightly weird arms. They're slightly different shapes than we usually expect. So once you've got this taken care of, now move all the way around to the back of your statue and come all the way down to the bottom of the feet. Take out your white wool and extend each end of Bart's feet out of the back of the statue, going that way each by 3. So that's 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3, just like that. Then connect each one of those third blocks together with a row of white wool to give you this U shape. Once you've formed this U shape, we're now basically just going to build up the entire back of our Bart statue exactly how we've just built up the front, in the exact same fashion. And you know what, guys, I don't usually do this, but the way that we're going to build up the entire back of the Bart statue is we're just going to look directly forward at what we did on the front of the statue, and I just want you guys to copy block for block what you did on the front of your statue. So just look directly forward and just copy exactly what you did on the front and copy it onto the back. There is only one row that differs on the back of your Bart statue, and that's when you get all the way up to the top. Whereas on the front, there's a little strip of yellow right at the top, where Bart has his collar. On the back, there is not. That is the only difference. So just copy exactly what you have on the front of your statue onto the back of your statue, and you really can't go too wrong. And I'll just say that again, just look directly forward at what you did on the front of your statue and just copy it directly onto the back, just as I'm doing now. They do not differ whatsoever. It's very, very simple. So I'm just going to continue copying what we have, and what you want to end up with is something that should look exactly like this, almost identical to the front. However, like I said guys, if you can see at the top there's no yellow at the top on the back, it's just completely orange. Alright guys, so once you've got that taken care of, we can now move on to the arms, Bart's tiny little arms. So you're on the back of the statue, and you want to come all the way over to the right hand side, and you want to be in line with this top row of cyan right here. You want to take out your yellow wool and go right of this cyan by 3. So that's 1, 2, 3. You then want to go on top of each one of those 3 yellow blocks, each by 8 with your yellow. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the exact same for the other 2 rows. Like that. You then just want to go on top of your 3 rows of yellow with your orange until it matches the height of the back of the statue. So you want to end up with this shape. Once you've done that, you then want to come over to the side of your statue once more, and we now want to go right of the rows that we've just made by 2, just matching the colors of these rows. So as you guys can see, we just want to place 2 rows of yellow going right, and we want to place 2 rows of orange going right. If you guys can see what we've done there, hopefully it's quite obvious. Once you've done those 2 side rows, you want to do the exact same thing on the front. So going right again, connecting to the side of the statue once more, just do 2 more rows of yellow and orange, just connecting to the side of the statue like this. The only difference with Bart's arms in relation to regular arms is it's just like a 3x3 square or rectangle rather than a 4x4 rectangle. It's as simple as that. You just miss 1 row off of the front. And once you've got all of those rows taken care of, you also want to fill in the bottom of Bart's arms, and you want to fill in the tops of Bart's arms as well. And obviously at the top, fill it in with orange, at the bottom, fill it in with yellow. And once you've got that taken care of on that side of the statue, you now want to do the exact same thing on the opposite side here. So we're on the back again, we're in line with this top cyan row, go left by 3 with your yellow wool, go up on top of each of them by 8 with your yellow, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And the other 2 as well, like this. Then do 3 rows of orange on top, matching the height of the back of the statue. Once you've got those 3 rows taken care of, you now want to come to the side of the statue, extend it coming towards the front of the statue by 2 rows, just as I'm doing here. And then once you've done those 2 rows, just take it back to the center of the statue. Just connect everything back together, just as I'm doing here. And once you've connected everything together, fill in the top of the shoulder with orange wool, and fill in the bottom of the arm with yellow wool. And what you want to end up with, just to show you guys the front view, is something that should look exactly like this. And as I said guys, as you can see, the arms in relation to regular statue arms, they just sit 1 block backwards in relation to the torso of the statue. And I don't know why, but hey, that's how it works. I didn't design the skin, I only designed the statue. That doesn't help my cause. Anyway, once you've got both of the arms taken care of, all we have to do now is just fill in the sides of the legs, which are very straightforward. However, we do have a slight bit of detail to add. So, you're on this side of the statue, you're at the bottom of the feet. For the first row of the side of the statue, just do an entire row of cyan wool. For the next row, you just want to occupy the left block with a white wool, the right block with a cyan, and that is the only detail that you need. After you've done that, it's just a case of matching the colours that you have on the front and the back of the statue and just applying those exact same colours to the side. So this is what you want to have for the first side. As I said, basically, whatever colour you have on the front and the back of the statue, just match that colour and just throw it in those 2 spots. So where we have white, place white, yellow, place yellow, cyan, place cyan, except for those first 2 rows. Once you've got one side of your statue taken care of, you now want to head all the way over to this opposite side and do the exact same thing. So for this second row, just make sure that you've got this white wool here, and then you can just place all of the other blocks in the necessary positions. And once you've got all of this taken care of, which we almost have, once you've got both sides of the statue taken care of. Talking is difficult today, guys. Once you have both sides of the statue taken care of, once you've got the front taken care of and the back taken care of, all we have to do now is Bart's head. So once you've reached this point right here, and obviously pause this if necessary, if you're still working on anything, you now want to come all the way to the front of the statue, and you want to come all the way up to the top of the torso. Take out your yellow wool and place a row of 8 yellow wool on top of the top row of the torso, just like this. Once you've placed that first initial row of yellow, you then want to do 2 more rows of yellow coming out in front of the statue, just like that. On top of this second row, this most outward row of yellow, stack 2 more rows of yellow coming up, like this. For the next row of Bart's face, do 2 yellow wool in the 2 center spots of the row, and then do white wool everywhere else. For the next row, going from left to right, do 1 white, 1 black, 1 white, 2 yellow, 1 white, 1 black, 1 white. For the next row, do 2 yellow wool in the 2 center spots of the row, and then do white wool everywhere else. For the next 4 rows, do 4 solid rows of yellow wool. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, and 4. And once you've done those 4 rows of yellow wool, you've actually completed Bart's face, which is looking a little scary at the moment, but I promise you guys it's going to look a lot better in just a moment. So once you've got Bart's face taken care of, we can now take care of the rest of his head. So come all the way around to the back of Bart's head. Where we first placed this initial row of yellow wool, this initial row of 8 yellow wool, you now want to take that row of yellow and extend it all the way over the back of the statue by 2 rows. So you just want to end up with something that should look, to give you guys a side view, that should look exactly like this. So the back of Bart's head is now overhanging the back of the statue by 2 rows, very much how the front of his head overhangs the front of the statue by 2 rows. Fairly simple. Once you've got that taken care of, you now want to take the 2 back corners of Bart's head, extend each one of those corners up in the air, and connect them to the front of the head. And then you just want to also connect each one of those rows together as well. So connect them to the front, connect them together, and what you want to have formed is a big giant rectangular shape, like this. Once you form this shape, you now just want to completely fill it in with yellow wool. So fill in each one of the 4 empty sides, exactly how I'm doing now. And once we've done that, we then just have to add in a few details around the head. We've got his nose, we've got his mouth, we've got his ears, we've got his hair, and we also have Bart's stomach as well to do, which is really easy. All of this stuff's quite easy. So now we just have the top of his head to fill in. And then we will be good. So I'm just going to continue fill it in and English is hard. English is so difficult. Main language, by the way, guys. Anyway, what you want to end up with is something that should look exactly like this. A big, giant, yellow rectangular 3D shape with 2 very creepy eyes in it. So once you've got that taken care of, we're now going to place Bart's ears. So come all the way to the side of Bart's head, this side of Bart's head, and come all the way down to the bottom left-hand corner of it. You're looking for this block right here. You want to have it highlighted. Once you've found this block, go right of it by 1. Then go up from this block by 2. So that's 1, 2. Place a yellow wool in that position and 1 just above it. That is Bart's ear in that exact same position, and you want to place another ear in the exact same spot on the opposite side here. So we're in the bottom right hand corner, go left by 1, up by 2, place a block, 1 block above it, there you go. That is the equivalent spot on the opposite side of Bart's head. So once you've got both of his ears placed, and can we even see them? They're kind of positioned too far back on the head for us to get a front view of them, but once you've got both of his ears placed, English is so difficult today, we can now place his nose. So Bart's nose is positioned just between the bottom of his eyes, and you just want to place 2 yellow wool exactly there, just between them, coming out in front of the statue. Once you've placed those, we can now do his hair. So his hair works in a pattern like this, and I'll just place this to show you because it's a really easy pattern. So like, starting from the left hand side, you place a yellow block, miss 1, place 1 again, miss 2, place 1, miss 1, place 1, and it follows that exact same pattern going all the way around the top of his head. So we're on the right hand side here, got the yellow wool, miss 1, place 1, miss 2, place 1, miss 1, place 1. Then, on the back of the head, miss 1, place 1, miss 2, place 1, miss 1, place 1. On this side of his head, miss 1, place 1, miss 2, place 1, there you go, and his hair is done. So, just to give you another view of this, very, very simple pattern. Once you've got his hair taken care of, obviously pause this if necessary, we can now do Bart's mouth. So, come all the way to the front of the statue and come all the way up to the top of the torso. Can you guys remember when we placed these 4 yellow wool at the top of the torso earlier? Well, these were for a purpose. Place 4 yellow wool in front of those original 4 yellow wool like that, and that is Bart's mouth. Very simple, just place 4 yellow wool in those positions right there. Once you've got that taken care of, still on the front of the statue, come all the way up to the top of Bart's shorts. Really, you want to come down to the bottom of his shirt, so you want to find the second row of Bart's shirt, so this second row of orange. Once you've found this, you want to place a row of orange wool directly in front of that second row of orange just coming up Bart's torso. Once you've placed that first row of orange wool, you then want to place 5 rows of orange on top of that initial row of orange. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And what you've just placed there is just Bart's protruding stomach. Bart is kind of a chunky little lad, and he has a big giant stomach, and that is what you want to have for your Bart statue. So once you've taken care of the ears, mouth, nose, hair, and his stomach, and everything else, you have fully completed your Bart statue. Let's take a look at him, shall we? Let's take a look at this guy, the creepy guy that he is. It's the eyes. The eyes, they're freaking me out a little bit, guys, but let's take a look. So, once you have fully completed your statue, you should be left with something that should look exactly like this. The creepy-eyed little boy that you can see before you. He is supposed to look a little menacing, in all fairness. He is a modern-day Dennis the Menace, in his own words. Cool statue, though, definitely goes with the other two. They are pretty well designed skins. I didn't originally like them when I made the statues, but they're growing on me quite quickly. I think I like something a lot more once I've done a tutorial of it. I don't know why. Maybe it's just because I'm a bit more familiar with it at that point because I've made it a second time, but these statues do really look cool in a row next to each other, the whole Simpsons family. As disturbing as those eyes do seem. Which they are, look at them. They're big, they're white, they're ominous, they're filled with nothing but hate. Anyway, hopefully you guys have managed to make this statue no problem. Hopefully you're looking at your very own Bart Simpson. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video. The next one will be Lisa. I'm trying to get these out in a timely fashion. I've got Homer, Marge, Bart, 2 left, then maybe I'll expand onto some other side characters. And really, like I keep pointing out at the start of these videos, I'm a little limited by what we have in the skin pack, although I could design some of my own characters, but some of my favourites are here. I've just realised that there's no Mr. Burns. Where's Mr. Burns? He's my favourite. I'd give it all up for just a little more. Where is he? Release the hat. Okay, I might have to make a Mr. Burns statue. I might have to design it. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you in the next video.